Hey everybody, welcome to our channel or welcome back to our channel.
If you're new.
Look at that. I hope I'm getting them. Wolfie, look how pretty you are.
He's just scared.
Look how pretty you are.
Ben's getting something, Mommy.
I sent Ben to get his favorite little bowl of dog food. So, yeah, he's very interested.
He's very highfalutin dude, but guess what?
Why?
He ain't legal.
Filet mignon for monsieur. He loves it. Well, welcome to Vlogmas Day 11.
Yep.
Day 11. You know, I tell you what, it's flying by, Mom.
It is.
It doesn't seem like it should be the 11th already.
Yeah.
Oh, happy tail, happy tail. He was funny. He was being a little shit poop earlier. He come prancing in my room just like one of them high-stepping horses, you know. Just had them feet coming up off the ground as high as he could get them. Comes prancing in there, and he's got a pop can in his mouth. And I said, "Oh, did you shit poop that pop can?" And he was grinned even bigger. And here comes Ben right behind him. It was very exciting. And then Ben took the can, and Wolfie's like, "Well, where's my treat?" And Ben says, "Well, come on." So turns around and high stepping all the way back in. Oh.
I should probably go fetch the mail.
Yeah, please bring me my package so I can quit worrying about it. It's never going to come. It's going to be January of next year, not 2025, but 2026 before this package comes.
Well, I don't know what's going to come in the mail.
I had 2 packages from the same company. One of them got mailed out. And then the second one got mailed out. And then we received the second one. And I still haven't got the first one.
Maybe it's late.
Well, duh. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Maybe it's late. Maybe I dropped you on your head once too often. He's over there snickering. Don't let him fool
Snicker,
you.
because I'm being horribly funny with maybe it's late.
Look how skinny my poor little ponytail is, Mom.
Yeah.
That's more like a rat tail or something. Soft as anything you ever want to touch. Because I use leave-in conditioner and hair serum, and it's so soft. And my hands are still soft from where I did that. And I've washed them with Dawn 3 or 4 times since then.
Yeah.
Dawn dries you out. But my hands are still just so soft. Who knew hair stuff is what's good for your skin? Is that an iguana?
Looks like it.
The heck is
Mom's
that?
got Love Nature on. She does that in the sheer hope that there'll be a turtle and she can watch me freak out. I'm pretty sure. The other day I got a big ad on my Facebook for live turtles shipped through the mail. So that's a new fear unlocked. I said, can you imagine?
I know about it now.
Can you imagine ordering a turtle by mail?
Yeah.
Can you also order crickets and jumper cables?
I know you can get crickets by mail, and I know you can get mealworms by mail.
Jumper cables are literally just cables with some form of grip at the end. The idea being you would attach them to a battery.
He didn't bring me my package.
There wasn't one to bring in today.
I'm sure it's out there, and he's just yanking my chain.
Stop being
Yeah.
a piece of crap.
She's got a letter from Social Security.
Stop using
I get one every 2 or 3 days.
I'm concerned because I haven't gotten one yet this week, and it's Wednesday.
Supposed to be here by Friday.
No, that's a letter from Social Security. They do love to write to me. Seriously.
We've all 4 of them have it for the last month.
They've informed me 4 times about my raise that I'm going to get in January. 2 for each check. So I get 2 checks. I get a widow's pension, and I get my SSI, which is the little one. So, yeah,
We plan to increase.
that's her bump up notice.
943 to 967.
hmm I said it's pathetic when you compare it to the cost of living that has gone, but at least it's more than $3.
Yeah.
One of my checks is only going up $3. The other one's like hers; it's going up 20 something. But yeah, that's fine and well until you go pay $2.89 for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Suddenly, that's not much of a raise.
Or $14 for a dozen eggs.
And I think that almost everybody will tell you the cost of living has raised a lot more than that.
And it's not inflation. See, this is the truth. This is God's honest truth. It's not inflation. Inflation is when prices go up and they're out of control, and they're still going up because the companies can't turn a profit. And that's what drives inflation. It's an out of control thing. We have companies making record profit who are jacking up the prices to price gouge and make more record profit. Huge difference. Huge difference.
Well, it's really that
I'm going to shut up now and protect my peace, right, Ben?
That's what she's been saying all day today.
All day. I'm going to protect my peace. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm going to stay calm. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure my eyes were twirling in 2 different directions. So, yeah. I'm having a day off from it. Or as near as I can get. So Ben was talking about this game, Persona.
Yeah, Persona 3.
Persona 3, where you have to mime suicide.
Yeah, basically, in order to summon your personas, the human characters have to use this device called an evoker, which looks very suspiciously like a handgun.
It's a gun.
In Persona 3 Reload, they even put cartridges in. It's even seen on screen that they do it.
You have to put it up to
Yeah,
your
put
head
it up to
and
your head
pull the trigger.
and pull the trigger.
I think that's such a bad idea.
oh yes.
Yeah, it's
Like
made.
society is not high enough now to get.
Yeah,
And if nothing
It's
else,
made money.
if there's absolutely nothing else wrong with it morally or whatever, which there is, but I'm not going to go into that. Even if it was just the act of miming suicide, that makes it more commonplace to people, and they become more acclimated to it, and therefore are more likely to do it. They don't have that, oh, I can't bear the thought of putting a gun up against my head, because they've done it 1,000 times. Nope, it's wrong. They shouldn't do it.
you'll notice as well that Persona 3 is also the only game that they've actually done that. Yes, they got people talking, but ever since then, they went back to using non-gun shaped references, you know? In Persona 4, they crush tarot cards, or basically attack them in some other way.
What game was it that had the Ouija board in it and everybody had a shit fit?
I don't know, but I do know it was not one of the games I've touched.
It was one of the haunted games, Ghost Hunters kind of game. And it had a Ouija board in the middle of the mansion that you're supposed to be going through. And you had to, sit around it and ask it questions, type in the questions, and then it would go to different answers depending on what you asked it. And everybody had a fit. An absolute fit.
I'm not even sure if that game's for sale anymore.
Probably not, because I think it was about 10 years ago. But oh my gosh, everybody's like, no, you're teaching kids, little kids, to mess with
Evil.
the evil and the occult. And everybody had a
Want to know
fit.
Want to know what everyone does happen to fail to notice though?
What?
A lot of people are basically like, think of the children, when they're basically looking at games that are obviously going to get the ESRB rating equivalent to M for mature.
Mm-hmm.
In other words,
Chocolate
it's
chip.
not
There's
the
a couple
game's-
in there.
Yeah.
It's not the
Mhm.
game's fault that kids are actually seeing this. It's the parents' fault.
I thought, Ben, go over there and see if I have another bag of chocolate chips and if I have a bag of peanut butter chips. I was thinking about peanut butter fudge the other night,
Yeah.
and I didn't know if I had everything I needed.
That would be good.
And Ben was actually asleep, believe it or not.
So would cake.
You
They're
didn't
never in
start
the
chocolate
fridge.
chips.
Okay, we're good on chocolate chips. Hell, I'd take some of Grandma's if I needed them.
There you go.
True. Gammy just ate some poos meal.
So how was ARF today?
No one's fine.
That good, huh?
All was fine. We just had another in-the-house day, and it was really generic. Everyone was too excited
Too
for
cool.
Tuesday, so we had to
Set,
take a sensory break because some people are idiots. So that's
Yeah.
was fine.
I'm familiar with those people. Take a bag of the peanut butter chips and the chocolate chips and a can of sweetened condensed milk. Set them over there in front of the microwave, please.
Alrighty, we could do those later.
After I do the video, it takes about a half a minute to do it.
Would have been better than fine. If
Only
people
thing
were
is,
not
I
being
always have to
idiots.
look up the measurements because I can never remember. I think it's like a cup and a half of each, but I'd be wrong for sure if I didn't look it up. What, buddy?
But yeah, I am right when I basically say that a lot of the video game controversies are not necessarily caused by the games themselves. You might not agree with what you see in your games, but if you don't want your kids seeing it, don't let your kids near it. It's plain and simple. Some of the biggest controversies have some of the simplest solutions.
You would be surprised how many people I've heard, actually real life people, I've heard say, well, they learned that from watching a video game. And somebody will say, well, why did you let them learn that or play that? And they have the audacity to say, well, I can't control what my child does. Then you shouldn't have children. If you can't control what a child does, you should not have children.
That's right.
That's a bullcrap excuse, and I can weigh in on it. I've been at GameStop a lot of times when, like, these Call of Duties or these recreate World War II through gun battle games and stuff are there. They're like M-rated because they have a lot of shooting and death and ultra violence and stuff in them, right? Like realistic ultra violence in them. And when I noticed a new game like that was coming out, you know who went in there, not even paying attention to rating, buying it for kids who should not be playing it?
Who?
Dumb parents.
Yeah.
Usually a mom trying to one-up dad who's more strict by getting her son a very violent video game for 18 plus. I've seen kids as young as 5 getting these because they want to one-up their dad who they're split with.
Well, and I'm
Yeah.
sure Dad tries to one up Mom by getting it for the weekend. Boo!
If those people do it,
Boo!
and this kid's friend in school plays with him, guess who else gets exposed?
Mm-hmm. And that's, you'll hear him say, well, they go to their friend's house. Well, then you don't let them go to that friend's house
friend,
anymore.
You find out, don't let them
Yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah.
You are the parent. You have to take control.
It might-
Somebody is going to be in control in that house.
Right.
It is just a power dynamic. I'm
Right.
sorry if that doesn't appeal to you, but that's what it is.
Welcome to reality.
And
It
you
sucks.
have the power. If you give it away to the child, that's nobody's fault but yours. You can't blame the child. Certainly, they've never been taught any better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In
Go
fact,
And I know they weren't raised that way as the hell of it. They weren't raised allowed to run around and play whatever they wanted to play and do whatever they wanted to do. They had curfew. They had rules. They weren't allowed to call their mom a bitch in public. And you would be shocked how many times I see that happen every year.
Mm.
Every year I see it.
You know what? We
What?
had it good. Because let's be real here. If they give the power to the kids, and then the kids are actually doing all this, no, they're not living good. In fact, they're on the fast track to prison, and it's all the mother's fault.
Chris used to have the 007, one of the 007 James Bond games, and he started getting really violent.
Actually, that was how it happened. I remember I showed her a wrestling game thing you could do, and that was the end of that.
Well, yeah, that was a different situation entirely.
Yeah, she's
But I
talking-
was not playing 007 wrong way. You took all the way because I started showing you that you could go off the ring when wrestling this one guy and beat up his girlfriend. And you took away all the violent video games that are as violent as 007 over that. That's how that really happened. But with GoldenEye, I was just complete missions like the game taught me. But you took offense when I started exploring it. You beat up this really young lady just to anger the opponent and make him tougher for it, which is what I was doing.
Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't have approved of that.
And she wouldn't have approved of that anyway. But we actually crashed our Nintendo 64 when we caused multiple landmine interactions. Mines!
But anyway, it got to be too much, and we said no more.
She decided to...
And he still to this day doesn't play person-on-person violent games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's playing a game where he has Yoshi jumping on make-believe Goombas, that's one thing.
Mario beating up on Ganondorf, perfectly fine. Peach and Zelda getting into a cat fight, since they don't exactly do it in a fist fight, fine. But the moment you actually see, say, somebody who's human basically getting violent with somebody else who's human,
What
we
are
haven't
those?
touched it.
Look,
Yeah, they're crabs.
it's what I thought you were going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me glad I'm allergic to crab meat.
Anyway,
And you know, when you go to most restaurants, you'll find out that the crab you're being served is artificial
Mm-hmm.
crab.
Okay.
Hmm.
anyway, guys,
And those are.
Unless you
crabs
ordered
that
crab legs.
use other shells.
Yeah, the hermit.
Yeah.
There he goes into another shell. Ooh, do people eat them? Hermit crabs?
I don't know. I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't.
Those Alaskan
Eat
king
almost
crabs.
anything.
Yeah, I know. Them Alaskan king crabs have the longest legs.
Legs.
Here I am
with
pretending to
sections
crab
that
pitch.
Would you
Mom.
please quit? You stand here just pinching at my arm slowly.
you know, trying to be a crab.
Your
Well,
hands aren't crab pinchers, then.
Well, I guess I better go. We've been on here for 18 minutes.
And a lot of that time was actually spent basically calling people out for failing to
Mm-hmm.
keep
Their
their
children.
kids in line.
Yeah.
Chris, did we show your new sweatshirt?
I don't think we did, but
Bring it here.
I was going to get that. Let me say
I'll
this.
show it off.
yeah, I'm not putting it on, but I'm
No.
gonna try to flatten.
Open it up and sit it here on my chest because I can't tell if you're in the frame or not.
Gotta get it the right angle. I put it in such a full.
It's kind of a
grab.
maroon color, but every time I've taken photos of it or anything, it comes across brown, but it's maroon.
Trying to flatten it so you can see all the picture. Then we have to flatten it past your legs, or else it'll cut off the thing. Let's see if it shows up good, but I think not good.
These are TIE fighters, right?
Snowflakes shaped like TIE fighters.
I don't care what he says, those are X-Wings.
No, these are all X's. They're like the X from Xmas. The Rebel Alliance symbol, Imperial symbol, Stormtrooper helmet outlines are down here. More X's that aren't X-Wings.
Way to go, Darth.
And above and below it says, I find your lack of cheer disturbing. And Darth Vader's helmet's just a black thing with white blob, so you know what the shape is.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, you
designed
can
to
have
look
it.
like an ugly sweater, by the way.
It was supposed to be a sweater, but they sent him a sweatshirt, and it's too late to make him exchange it.
So
So
now he has an ugly sweatshirt.
now he's paid $7 more than he should have.
For an ugly
Well,
sweatshirt.
The sweatshirt was more, so I got for cheaper. Like, if I bought the sweater, it was like, well, how much it was. If
My lips
I had
are
ordered the
peeling. I'm sorry, I
sweatshirt,
know
it
I'm
would have
chewing
been
them.
$30 or something. It would have been $50 or something. Because the sweatshirt version was like,
It should be cheaper.
you're not.
It is.
let's get back on the rails now.
Okay, thank
I
you
mean-
for joining us at 20 minutes.
Yeah, let me say this real quick.
Say it real quick.
Basically, ever since Mom saw between me crashing Goldeneye with multiple mind interactions and that wrestling game where you could actually get out of the ring and beat up people who you're not really fighting at that point, she basically put every game that went into the house on a rail, and if it was not
Appropriate.
to appropriate age rating, nope, it wasn't coming in. In case you're wondering, there was
There was
another
no
thing.
screaming. There was no yelling. There was no throwing of furniture.
There you go.
There was no cussing anybody out.
There's no
I
destruction
said
of property.
no more, and that was the end of it.
We
and-
had plenty of other things that were a lot.
I'm
more
not
fun.
saying I'm the best mom in America. I know I'm far from that. But somebody in the house has to be in control of the household.
There you go.
Somebody doesn't. It should not be your 8-year-old.
Oh, and I know this might be a bit too soon for Mom, but it does need saying. You know Everett, Doyle's
Yeah, I know.
kid. He apparently had control in his family's power dynamic because guess what? He was playing in front of people who shouldn't have been seeing.
I know.
Yep.
He even gave me the controller for a bit.
Resident Evil, right?
Grand
No,
Theft
Grand
Auto.
Theft
Grand
Auto.
Theft Auto. Yeah.
AKA murder,
I know
carjacking,
about
and
it,
crime
hush.
simulator.
Okay, thank you for joining us. I hope you will come back and see us tomorrow, where hopefully we will not be on a video game tangent.
Yep.
I make no promises. I have no idea what we'll be talking about.
Yeah, you
And
never know.
maybe my package will have come. Fingers crossed. In the meantime, have a good night and stay warm. It's freezing here. Our wind chill 16 degrees.
Burr.
It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside, Ben. Anyway, join
You'll
us
freeze
tomorrow.
out there.
It's up to your knees out there. Join us tomorrow. In the meantime, stay warm, take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Survive.
Bye.